Welcome. This is Dr. Lauren Dew with Say a Word About This. And on Wednesdays, for the last several weeks, our subject has been sex in the Bible. I was just looking at the number of people that follow this program versus all of our other programs. And I am so thankful that I can boast in God that I am bold enough to deal with sex in the Bible. I welcome those of you on YouTube. I'm doing a simulcast with YouTube and with my blog talk radio. And so for the first part, we're going to kind of do generalities and what have you. But I welcome you, YouTube listeners and viewers. Go back to my blogtalkradio.com/dr DUE. So it's a / then dr DUE, and that'll get you to my blog talk radio, the internet service, and you'll be able to listen to many programs going back for going into our third year of being on the air with blog talk radio and working at doing these simulcasts. I am believing that someone will hear this and know that this is a person who is very serious about the working with and setting free and bringing deliverance and showing love to children, especially who are sexually abused, who are molested, who are raped by their own fathers, their own mothers, uncles and aunts, and whoever else that thinks they can get away with that kind of foolishness. I'm here to expose, to confront, and reveal the truth about these issues. I was just looking at one of my alerts before I came on the air, and 72 people were arrested sometime between the time I came on the air and in the last hour or so ago for child pornography, child abuse. And you know, it just galls me that people's minds are so warped that they have to look at a child, whether it be a little boy or a little girl, to get their sexual fantasies fulfilled. It's obvious of their immaturity. It's obvious that they're pretty close to being, as far as I'm concerned, pretty crazy. They're not, though. They are just misguided, and their appetites are perverted. This work I do is directed to, specifically going to the perpetrator and the victims soon to be victors, those that desire to come out of and to overcome the challenges that have happened to them. Being a victor as I am, I once was a victim. And as a child, I didn't know I was a victim. Children don't know. Children are never wrong. The children are never at fault when it comes to abuse. When an adult is having sex with a child that's under the age of accountability, the child is not at fault. It is the adult that is at fault. And that's just the way it is. We're having just incredible weather here in Colorado. I guess around the country it is hot. Hot. Well, here It is pretty warm. Excuse me. And getting the air set is a challenge. But thank God we have air. Can you imagine the people that don't even have air and they are miserable? Well, I tell you what, as a preacher, I'll tell you what's hotter than this. And it was not created for you or me. And that's hell. So, hey, this is nothing compared to what it will be for those of you that believe. Now, those of you that don't believe in hell, hey, that's cool. You believe in whatever you want to believe in, and you deal with that. But if Jesus acknowledges that there is a heaven where he went and a hell where he was created for the devil, the disobedient one, I believe. I have not interested. I already have my citizenship. So we got 72 people that were, and so we have many alerts on that. Now let me just give you the good news. The new book is, we've been doing pre-sales, and I thank each of you that have purchased a book at the discounted value, and that'll go on for a few more days, and soon we're going to flip that switch. And you say, what is he talking about? Well, go to, and this is a website, a very long website, but you can get it. It's simply incestinblackAmerica.com. Let me say it again. Incest, INCEST, BlackAmerica.com. And you'll see our website. And very soon that's going to be transformed so that if you now go ahead and purchase a book, every nth number, I don't know if it's going to be 10 or 20, but every number, it's a random number, will receive a free book. And when I say free, you won't even have to pay the postage. I know folks say they give stuff away, and they'll say, well, it's free, but you got to pay the postage. No, I'm going to pay the postage. And you're going to get the book. And all I'm going to ask you to do is tell your friends about this book. Those of you that get free books, those of you that pay for your books, tell your friends that there is a book out there that deals with sexual abuse from a point of view of a person, a male point of view, a black male, matter of fact, that was raped, molested, and abused by his father, which is me, and brother. And it gives a pretty graphic, very graphic actually, shows the transition of going from being a child to what happened as an adult, leading a life of promiscuity, and getting to the point where the intervention occurred. And I heard the voice of the Lord say, you will not do to your son what was done to you. And that is when everything changed. The healing, the deliverance, the victory, I guess even the gift to write. Maybe I already had it. Some people, the teachers say I had it, but I started writing. Everything just happened. And so you will get that in this book. And you will get short stories or vignettes about several black young men who unfortunately either had to sleep with their father, their grandfather, their pastor, their brother, or somebody, and all of what they went through. And in that, there's nuggets called dewdrops, and I share some wisdom there. And we have a section by Dr. David Johnston out of Indianapolis, Indiana, a whole chapter that gives some very important statistics and information. And then we have a section after that, various chapters on wisdom. And there's one chapter that will bless somebody, and it's called Spiritual Fathers. Just Call Me Daddy. And I tell you, after what I saw last week with regard to this latest situation with Eddie Long, this fifth person now emerging, it's like, my. What else? So this and this person, has even he admitted, I'm not sure if it's a he or what the person is, but they have a tattoo on them of Eddie Long's name tattooed on their body. And so I think that we're going to hear more. But the reason that chapter was written was because that we discovered from talking to people that Eddie Long had used the scriptures and told these young men that, hey, by being with me, you're fulfilling the word. I'm daddy. And we break it down in there so you really understand when a black man or a man calls another man daddy, what that really means. And it's not from the Bible. It's not anything that God would ordain. We didn't see Apostle Paul telling Timothy, just call me daddy. No. So we deal with that. So the book's it's available, and every nth person, I'm not sure if we're going to do every 10th person, every 20th person, but we'll see how they can program it and set it up, will receive a free book. And you're not going to pay the postage. I'm going to pay the postage. I get sick of these people. You go to something that says, oh, it's free. And as soon as you get to it, then it pops up the postage. It's funny. So we're going to do that and make that available with the new book. And then be on a circuit and start some touring and visiting. I know one of the places that we already have invitations to is Atlanta, Boston, LA, Los Angeles, and different cities. And so there's another book that I just wrote a review on that's coming out at the same time, extremely graphic, called Raw. But I think it had to be written it's written from a point of view of a homosexual man, and trying to get people to realize, especially men, women as well, married folks as well, that this barebacking, this going without protection, if you're not going to do it God's way, at least have enough sense to use protection so you don't get some disease, specifically AIDS or STD or HPV or whatever. I mean, it's a whole bunch of them out there, herpes, you name it. But if you're going to do it your way, at least protect yourself. At least, and don't, these men that are down low men, and you have wives, you have girlfriends, you have boyfriends, you have a whole lot of stuff. Well, don't be giving that disease to them, especially the women. They're not talking about it, but more women are infected with AIDS now than even men. And the numbers are